Hello everyone. A couple of days ago I received a comment and a question on one of my older videos. It was this video here where I'd shared a little page made with these flowers here. You can see I used a bunch of them on a border here. Just absolutely love that spread, and I used half of one to create this page here, and this was in my old Usual Scraps journal. I think this was the first Usual Scraps journal that I ever created when I did it in more of an art journal style format. Now, the lady who left the comment, and I can't remember who it was, asked if I had a tutorial showing how I made these, and I don't, because these were sent to me in Happy Mail. Now, these were sent to me back, oh gosh, must be 5 or 6 years ago, because it was for my 2,000 subscriber embellishment challenge, and I've got a feeling it was either Angie Beaumont or Betsy Doodle who sent me these, and I honestly can't remember. I know that a few ladies did these. They were all the rage at the time. I know that Mags Loxley was doing some as well, but I thought we'd have a go at these today for the Let's Get Arty prompt, and I'll try and make some of these with my own mark on them. Out a whole bunch of acrylic paints, all different brands. You can see here I've got a couple of Amsterdam acrylics, some Pebeo Deco Creams, which is more of a chalk paint, a Reeves paint, and I've also got a couple of Daler Rowney lying around on my desk. I'm also going to use some white gesso as well. I can't find my white acrylic paint. You could use white acrylic paint instead, but today I'm going to use white gesso instead. So let's start off by just putting a dollop of this onto a plate. Let's put another bit. That should be plenty, just to add a bit of contrast to my flowers. And I'm going to be working on a piece of cardstock. This is cream cardstock, probably 250 GSM, I would have thought. Now, what colour shall I start off with? Let's start off with this gorgeous Persian rose. This is one of my favourite colours of Amsterdam acrylic. I've also got a paintbrush here and a couple of jars of water. I'm just going to start off by putting a dab down with my finger just so that I can control where that goes. Let's start off with two of these in this beautiful light pink. I've got wads and wads and wads of tissue paper as well, but I'm just going to start by just doing some swirlies using this this pink paint, just like this. Now, do I come in with some gesso next? Yeah, I think I will. So let's bring in the white gesso. Let me just, in fact, let's move that out of the way. With gesso, just make sure that you wipe it off your utensils as soon as you can. Otherwise, it tends to set rock solid. And let's just do some more swirlies. I've probably got way too much gesso here, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep wiping my paint off and dipping it in the water, and then I think we'll add a darker colour. Which one should we go for? Let's go for this colour here. This is rose red, and this is a Reeves paint. Don't want too much of this because this is quite strong, and again, you see, I just like having that that touch of that rose red, and again I'm just going to swirl that into my flower. So that's the first couple done. Really subtle, but I like those. Let's make some more, but let's reverse the colours this time. So this time I'm going to put the rose pink down, not too much, because that, as I've said before, is really strong. I think I'll add a bit of the gesso as well, and I'm just going to make some swirlies. If I make them and they're a bit too big, I'm not too worried about that, because I'm thinking that I can cut them down. Let's put some more of the gesso in the middle. Aren't those pretty? Let's do a couple in this matte fuchsia. Again, a couple of blobs of paint down. That's probably a bit too much on the bottom one, but hey ho, that's okay. And again, we'll just add some of the white gesso, quite a big blob of that. I like the contrast that that adds. Try and mix that up a bit, make that one a bit bigger. And I think I'm going to leave those and put those off to one side. And I'm going to do the same method. I've got some orange and yellow that I can use. So I'm just going to do a few more in different colourways. This is what I've got so far. So I've got my gorgeous pink flowers. I've got some orange and yellow ones, and I've also got some blue and some green ones as well, turquoisey type ones. So I'm going to set these all off to one side to dry, and let's make some leaves. And I am just going to paint myself some leaf shapes. They don't have to be perfect because I can cut these out as I want them to be. Just going to make a few of these in different shapes and sizes. We can add a little bit of gesso to this as well. What would that look like? Got a blob on that one. You see, I like the look of the gesso. It tones everything down. So I've also got a darker green. This is olive. It's one of the Dina Wakley ones, but it's a slightly darker shade. What does that look like if we add a bit of that for some contrast as well? You see, I like it. So I'm just going to go off and paint myself some leaves. We can add some gesso in the middle of that perhaps. My paint is now dry, so let's have a look and see if we can turn these into some beautiful embellishments. Let me show you what I've got. I've got these pink ones, the blue and turquoise, the yellow and orange, and a couple of pages of leaves. Let's take one of these. It really doesn't matter which one, and I'm just going to cut around the edge of these, and you don't have to be perfect about this. If some of these are too big, I can make them smaller as well. Now you could draw a line around these with a black pen or a white marker, whatever you wanted to do, but that's how I want mine to be. And you know, for instance, this one here, it's way too big. If you have a look at this, the edge of it is much too big, so I'm just going to make it smaller. So it doesn't matter if you go overboard with your paint. You can cut these to any size you like. So I'm just going to go off now and cut out all of my beautiful flowers, and just look how gorgeous they look once they've been cut into smaller shapes. Look at my wrinkly fingers as well from all the times I've washed my hands. Let me also show you what I'm going to do with the leaves, because I'll go off camera and cut all of these out as well. So let's just take some of these, move those out of the way just so that you can see what I'm doing. And again, I'm just going to cut these into leaf shapes. They don't have to be perfect at all. And again, if they're too big, you can always cut them down. Let's do another one of these, because I just want to show you what these will look like once they're bunched together with my beautiful flowers. And then, as I said, I've got a whole heap of fussy cutting to do, which is fine because I find it quite therapeutic. Well, I think it's fair to say I got a bit carried away with these, but aren't they just absolutely gorgeous? And oh my goodness me, I could easily have another session making a whole heap more of these. I think they're absolutely gorgeous and so fun to make. Let's have a play with the leaves. And let me show you what these look like. I want two different shades, just because I think that's fun and interesting. But just look how pretty that looks. Wouldn't that look gorgeous as an embellishment on a project? Let me just show you some of the other colours. I think this one here, I'd like to add something darker to the centre, and perhaps that one there. So I might tweak some of these. Love this one here. I think this is gorgeous. But just look at that. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful as well? The orange ones are gorgeous. Let's choose one of the orange ones to show you. which leaves work well with the orange ones. Let's just tuck a couple of these underneath. Absolutely beautiful. I just think these will be so much fun to use in, you know, whimsical collage. How can we alter these if they're not quite to our liking? I've just put out some indigo just onto my palette here. I've still got some gesso left as well. I am just going to add just a darker touch of colour to the middle of these. Let's wipe that off and just add maybe a touch more of the white just around the outside, and we can just change these up and just add to them just to make them look a bit more interesting. Just add a bit more. There we go. That's much better, and we can do the same to this one here as well. So let's add some swirlies, grab a bit of gesso, and you know, we can just make these look a whole lot more interesting if we're not quite happy with them as they are. I love the ones with the darker centers. I had so much fun making these, and I think this is another one of those projects that could become quite addictive. I'll be back soon to share ideas as to how we can use these. It won't be for another 2 or 3 weeks though, because I'm away on holiday in a week or so. So as soon as I've come back, I'll make it a priority to share a project using these. But, you know, if you've enjoyed today's video, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. But most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. And for anybody that wants to follow along with our prompts, I'll leave the link to the Facebook group, the Mixed Media Emporium, in the description box below. So please do feel free to come along and join us. But as I've said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.